All right. Good afternoon, everybody. What's going on? It's your girl Tiffany coming through live in effect right here today. So, before I get started, make sure you guys go ahead and check out the YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell on there. Also, with that being said, also share this video. So today's topic is going to deal with HBCUs, which is historically Black colleges and universities. So today we're going to look at the history of what is known as Clark Atlanta University and how that university came about. So actually it started off as Atlanta University and Clark College. All right, it was two separate colleges, but then they joined forces back in 1988 to become one college. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the background and history of it. It's not a whole lot of information, but it's enough. All right. So as you can see right here, let's go down to what actually is a Clark Atlanta University is a private Methodist historically black university in Atlanta, Georgia. Clark Atlanta is the first HBCU in the southern United States, founded September 19th, 1865 as Atlanta University, consolidated with Clark College in 1869 to form Clark Atlanta University in 1988. It is classified among R2 doctoral universities, high research activities. All right. So let's go down to the history. Now, it says exactly 3 months after the end of Civil War, Atlanta University, now Clark Atlanta University, was founded on September 19, 1865, as the first HBCU in Southern United States. Atlanta University was the nation's first graduate institution to award degrees to African Americans in the nation, and the first to award bachelor degrees to African Americans in the South. Clark College, 1869, was the nation's first four-year liberal arts college to serve African American students. The two consolidated in 1988 to form Clark Atlanta University. All right. So right there, as you can see, that a lot of the HBCUs, right, were mostly found by those who were in religious organization, particularly Christianity, and those who were like Methodists, who study empirical or whatever you call it, and those who were apostolic or whatever, Baptists. They founded these universities, and only because the universities at that time served as seminary schools, schools for people who want to become ministers and pastors and etc. Then over a period of time, it has changed. Same way with the A&M. The A&M stand for agricultural and mechanics. So a lot of those A&M was founded by those who were in the agricultural field or the mechanics field. So they found these universities just so they can enhance and be more advanced in agricultural background or doing some type of technical stuff, right? So they have gradually changed over time to expand into four-year colleges and have varieties of majors, different subject fields. They also have a lot of extracurricular activity. So yes, Clark Atlanta is a private college and very expensive, but very private. To give a little background, I happened to be accepted to Clark Atlanta University, but I never attended. I attended to other colleges, but I kind of wish I did because I would have got the experience of going to a HBCU, but I didn't take on that opportunity because the cost was very expensive, and I was living out of state at that time period. So I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh my God, why did I not go to Clark Atlanta? I wanted to go there. And you had a lot of your celebrities that came up out of that school. You had Spike Lee. He graduated from Clark Atlanta. What's the guy's name that used to be with Puff Daddy? Farnsworth Bentley. He graduated from Clark Atlanta, and there's so many lists of them that did. So yeah, but let's continue on and look at the history. All right. All right, let's start out with, it says Atlanta University. In the city of Atlanta, as the Civil War was drawn to a close, two literate African Americans, James Tate, who came to Atlanta from Elbert County, Georgia, in the 1860s, and Grandison B. Daniels, who may have moved to Atlanta during this time from North Carolina, established the first school in Atlanta for African American children on the corner of Cortlandt and Jenkins Streets in a building owned by Bethel AME Church. When white missionary Reverend Frederick Ayer, along with his wife, arrived in Atlanta in November 1865 under the auspices of the American Missionary Association, Tate and Daniels readily transferred their responsibility to Ayer, who was better prepared to lead the educational effort in 1867. All right. And then it goes on to say that it was founded again on September 19th by two former slaves. And then it says 2 years later, they turned it over to Edmund Asa Ware of the American Missionary Association, and he was appointed the first president. Okay. And it says with a later assistant from Oliver Otis Howard of the Freedmen's Bureau, Atlanta University, now Clark Atlanta, is the first HBCU in Southern United States and the nation's oldest graduate institution serving a predominantly African-American student body. It is the first HBCU to be founded, chartered, and to confer its first bachelor's degree in the South. Atlanta University chartered October 17, 1867, offering first instruction at post-secondary level 1869, first graduating class 1873, normal school for future teachers, including women, and awarding its first 6 bachelor's degree in June of 1876. Atlanta University was one of the first to accept women and the first HBCU to have a women's dormitory, North Hall, built in 1869. One woman earned a bachelor's degree from Atlanta University between 1876 and 1895. 7 women received bachelor's degree from Atlanta University between 1895 to 1900. Atlanta University bachelor's degree 53 years, okay, which was 1876 to 1929, before exclusively offering graduate degrees. Now, it says in 1912, the catalog shows that Atlanta University had 3 divisions: the college and the normal school with a preparatory division. Enrollment that year was 403 to 440 college students, 62 normal students, 115 high school students in the college prep program, and 183 high school students in the normal program. At that time, half of Atlanta University alumni were employed in teaching. A group of small Black colleges in Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, Clark, Morris Brown, and Gammon, each guarded its independent, but each depended on Northern philanthropy. By the end of World War I, the Northern philanthropists were demanding mergers to improve educational quality. In 1929, saw the creation of the Atlanta University affiliation, in which Atlanta University took on a role as the graduate school with Morehouse and Spelman as undergraduate colleges. Before World War II, the affiliation came to include other Black colleges in Atlanta. By 1988, Atlanta University merged with Clark College, becoming Clark Atlanta July the 1st of 1988. All right, so now the North Hall, which is now Gain Halls, which is part of Morris Brown College. And as we know today, we don't know much about what's going to happen as far as with Morris Brown University is concerned. I know the building is still at a standstill. So here it is. Say Atlanta University began on West Mitchell, about a mile from downtown Atlanta, built in 1869 by architect William Parkinson. North Hall, now Gaines Hall, marked the first female dormitory on the campus of a co-ed school in the United States. Gaines Hall stood as Atlanta University's initial original building. Okay, so Gaines Hall was the original building of Atlanta University. A year later, South Hall open for boys. Wings were added each in 1871 and 1880. In 1882, Stone Hall opened as the main building, containing the chapel, lecture hall, recitation room, laboratories, and administrative offices. By 1905, four more permanent buildings had been added, including a Carnegie Library. North Hall is the middle building, flanked by South Hall and North Hall. South Hall was later demolished by Morris Brown College. A fire in mid-August of 2015 threatened to raze the building completely. In October of 2017, a court ruling returned the property to Clark Atlanta University. All right, so right here, North Hall, right, was the original building of Atlanta University. Okay, then it became a dormitory for females on the campus, but it was but also it was the main building. That's where the Educational Institute was at. All right, so Clark Atlanta and Morris Brown and Spelman, right, and also Morehouse, they like in the same premises. So they're really not a big colleges. They're pretty small, so to speak. They kind of share the same campus region. So you can go across the street and you will see Spelman. Then if you go across the street, you'll see Morehouse. Then right up the street, you might see Morris Brown University. Then down the street, you might see Clark Atlanta. So they're like in that same region, in a similar region area. So they're not really big college campus like that. And they all incorporate under Atlanta Center University. All right. So now it says erected in 1882 on the crest of Diamond Hill on the Morris Brown College campus. Fountain Hall is one of the earliest structures for the original site of Atlanta University. Historically, Fountain Hall is significant to the city, state, and nation for its role in providing higher education to Blacks in this country. It was for this reason that Fountain Hall was made a National Historic Landmark in 1975. Architecturally, this building is important as a work of G.L. Norman. This Atlanta architect was active during the late 19th and very early 20th centuries, but few of his work has survived. The three-story red brick structure is also an excellent example of high Victorian style. Its clock tower, a rare sight in Atlanta. Over its 138 years history, Fountain Hall has served as the location for administrative office as well as a number of other university activity, contributing greatly to the cultural fabric of the city through the education of its citizens. Okay, and as you can see right here, that's W.E.B. Du Bois. Now, W.E.B. Du Bois was a professor at Atlanta University. He taught sociology and history. So, yeah, so that's W.E.B. Du Bois. He graduated from Harvard University with a PhD, came down here to the South, and he began teaching. All right. All right, then. So now let's go down here to Clark College real quick. Okay. Now, Clark College was founded in 1869 by the Methodist Episcopal Church, which later became the United Methodist Church, as the nation first four-year liberal arts college to serve the primary African American student population. Clark University was chartered and incorporated in 1877. First offered instruction at the post-secondary level in 1879. Awarded its first degree, baccalaureate, in 1880, and became Clark College in 1940. It was named for Bishop David Wascott Clark, who was the first president of the Freemen's Aid Society and became bishop in 1864. A sparsely furnished room in Clark Chapel, a Methodist Episcopal church in Atlanta's Summer Hill section, housed the first Clark College class. In 1871, the school relocated to a new site on the newly purchased Whitehall and McDaniel Street property. In 1877, the school was chartered as Clark University. An early benefactor, Bishop Gilbert Haven, visualized Clark as the university of all the Methodist schools founded for the education of freemen. After the school changed location several times, Bishop Haven, who succeeded Bishop Clark, was instrumental in acquiring 450 acres in South Atlanta, where in 1880 the school conferred its first degree. In 1883, Clark established a theology department named for Dr. Elijah H. Gammon. In 1880, the Gammon School of Theology became the Independent Theological Seminary and is currently part of the Interdenominational Theological Center. Clark College merged with Atlanta on July the 1st of 1988. All right, so these are the main campus of Clark Atlanta, right? And right here, as you can see, this is a statue of W.E.B. Du Bois sitting on Clark Atlanta University. That's his statue right here. All right, so you got residential facilities, various types. All right. Then they got different academic programs. Clark Atlanta offers undergraduate and graduate degrees from the following schools of art and science, schools of business, school of education, and school of social work. Okay. Clark Atlanta is the most comprehensive institution in the Atlanta University Center, offering over 40 degrees at bachelor's, master's, and doctoral levels. And it says Clark Atlanta is annually ranked on the list of the Washington Monthly Best Colleges and University and consistently ranked a top 20 HBCUs by U.S. News and World Report, number 13. And it says Clark Atlanta's social work graduate program consistently ranks among the 100 best in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. Clark Atlanta's Center for Functional Nanoscale Measure has produced more Black PhDs in nanoscale science than any HBCUs in the nation. I want to know what that is. Okay, nanotechnology is manipulation of matter of an atomic, molecular, and supramolecular scale. The earliest widespread description of nanotechnology referred to the particular technological goal of precisely manipulating atoms and molecules for fabrication of macro-scale products, also now referred to as molecular nanotechnology. A more generalized description of nanotechnology was subsequently established by the National Nanotechnology Initiative, which defined nanotechnology as the manipulation of matter at least one dimension size from 1 to 100 nanometers. Okay. So they had more Blacks in PhD in nanoscale science. That's interesting. All right. So as you can see, it goes down here talking about the student life. Uh, the athletic programs. Let's see, they are part of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conferences and the National Collegiate Athletic Association Division Two. Right, so you got the men's sports, basketball, baseball, cross country, and football, and track and field. Women's basketball, cross country, softball, tennis, track and field, and volleyball. All right. Then you got the marching band known as the Mighty Marching Band Panthers. All right, this is the marching band right here. Then Essence is the dance line featured with the marching band. The band was featured in the 2002 movie Drumline. Drumline was a great movie. That was the best movie ever. One of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. All right, then they got a list of fraternities and sororities. And they have other Greek letters organizations registered on campus, including Sigma, Alpha, Ota, Gamma, Sigma, Kappa, Kappa Psi, Phi, Mu, Alpha, Sinfonina, 2, Beta, Sigma, and Gamma Phi Delta. All right. Now, they said 2% of undergraduate men and 3% of undergraduate women are active in Clark Atlanta's National Pan-Hellenic Council. All right, so they got the Alpha Phi Alpha. They got the Alpha Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Delta Sigma Theta, Phi Beta Sigma, Zeta Phi Beta, Sigma Gamma Rho, Ota Phi Theta. So yeah. All right. Then you got a list of those who had graduated from Clark Atlanta. You got Ralph Abernathy. Okay. Let's see who else on here that I'm familiar with. Oh, you got Marva Collins. She graduated, and she was a founder of the West Side Preparatory School in Chicago. Yeah. Let's see who else. Oh, DJ Drama graduated from there. Amanda Davis. Brian Michael Cox graduated from there. James Weldon Johnson had graduated from there. Let me see who else. Oh, Eva Pickford graduated from Clark Atlanta. I'm surprised they ain't got Spike Lee's name on here because he graduated from Clark Atlanta University. Okay. So they ain't got you got Hosea Williams. Yeah, Spike Lee graduated from here though. They ain't got his name on there. Interesting. All right, so that's it. So here's the references at the bottom. If you want to find out more information about Clark Atlanta University, there's a lot of reference that's regard to that. All right. And here I got I got some sources, a PDF that deals with Black colleges. Let me try to pull this up closer. Okay. So here's the Black colleges and what their purpose was. As you can see, these are the table of contents. It said the state of research on black colleges and introduction by M. Christopher Brown II and Cassie Freeman. And it goes on to say the formation of historically black colleges and university is rooted in the aspiration of African Americans to gain education during time in which legalized racial segregation and the preclusion of African Americans from obtaining formal education endured as remnants of a period in America's past that some would like to pretend did not exist. HBCUs have been excluded from the focus of mainstream historical and empirical higher education research. In the absence of an authentic, comprehensive body of research on HBCUs, few have accurately described or assessed the place these institutions occupy in the landscape of American higher education. From their very beginnings, argue Allen and Jewell, HBCUs were faced with outright opposition to their existence. Many feared the social, economic, and political implication of an educated African American citizenry. Early opposition to these institutions was manifest in overt hostility and physical destruction, as well as charges that African American students were intellectually inferior. Today, HBCUs continue to be devalued and misjudged, and the label of inferiority continue to be misapplied to African American students and historically black institutions alike. Since the 1954 U.S. Supreme Court decision in Brown versus Board of Education, HBCUs have also been accused of being anarchism and charged with promoting segregation. However, those who make such claims do not do so in direct opposition to the history that led to the development of these institutions. All right, so that's just a brief introduction right there of about the research on these black colleges and why they were formed and what was the purpose and whatnot. So right here is called Black Colleges. All right. And it was edited by M. Christopher Brown II and Cassie Freeman. New perspective on policies and practices. All right. Trying to see what year it was written. It was written in 2004. Okay. Let's see. All right, then. So that's all dealing with the history about Clark Atlanta University and the purpose that it served for African Americans and whatnot. So a lot of the HBCUs as of today have been overlooked, if you will, and been devalued or undervalued. So there's some institutions that are closed because they're not getting enough financial support. All right. And Morris Brown University, the building is still around, but the school is not very active because they lost their accreditation and they have not earned enough financial support. So with that being said, a lot of these schools, a lot of the HBCUs, they're going through financial troubling. However, when Trump got into office, he signed an executive order where the colleges can receive permanent funds without having to keep coming back every year to get more funding for the schools and whatnot, which I think that's a great thing. It's wonderful. And that's well deserved or whatnot. But you know what makes me upset is all of a sudden now all these things have been taking place as far as the police brutality and a lot of racial discrimination going on. You know, people calling the police on black folks for no apparent reason. Now everybody want to put their focus on HBCUs, and they also want to put their focus on black businesses. But what was all of this before these incidents were taking place or during a time where things like this was going on? Why wasn't Black people getting attention then? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand it for the life of me. But I hope that the schools, the Black colleges and universities that's still around today, I hope they continue to thrive. I hope to see more success come along, taking place. Um, and I'm happy to see that more and more kids want to go to these HBCUs, want to graduate, want to get their degrees and whatnot. I'm happy to see that because it's necessary and it's important. You know what I'm saying? It's important that we stay connected with our roots. It's important that we stay connected with our culture. It's very important. So, anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and log off of here. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please be safe and be careful. And if you're sick, stay your ass at home. Till then, I'll reconnect with you all later. All right then. So may peace and power elevation be to all you. This your girl Tiffany, and I'm checking out. All right, and I'm saying deuces. Thank you.